What's up, YouTube? So today we're going to be doing an instructional video on how to lube your chain. Couple things you're going to need. I preferably would like to use a stand just so that you can get in there, rotate your chain, and you don't have to keep moving the bike. You don't have to use a stand. You can move the bike back and forth, but it's just easier when you have a stand. So as you can see, there's our dirty chain. I don't ride this bike too much, so we're going to clean it for winter. Now, just quickly, a couple things you're going to need to do this. You can use a toothbrush, but I have what's called the Grunge Brush. And all it is a couple bristles on each side. And then you have this. You can get into your sprocket. We have here both chain lube and chain clean. This is going to be to clean the chain. That's going to be to lubricate it. And we're going to need a rag to wipe all the grease off and everything that's stuck in there. And I use some gloves. Okay, so first step, we're going to grab our chain clean. And I'm going to spray the whole chain. I'm going to let it sit for about 15 minutes. It usually says on here, I think it says 5 minutes, but I usually let it sit 10 to 15. So I'm going to spray the chain. Make sure you get everywhere, both sides. Go over it even. And I typically like to put something under there to catch most of the stuff so I don't dirty my floor. I'm just going to go over to the next side and I'll do it quickly. You make sure you clean the sprocket as well, not just the chain, because the sprocket will always catch stuff and you'll wear out the teeth on the sprocket. That's not good. So what we're going to do is we're just going to let this sit for about 10-15 minutes, and once it's penetrated, we're going to brush out the chain.
And for added effect, do it indoors, no ventilation.
Ooh.
Have a good time while you're doing it.
Yeah, boy. So one thing I've kind of just decided to do, I never really do this, but you know what, I figured it'd be a good idea, it's probably be a whole lot easier, is remove the chain guard. This is a 2009 Kawasaki Ninja 250, 10mm socket will do, and here we are. Just take these two bolts out, here and here, and it should pop right off. Just make sure you keep your hardware and don't lose anything. That's it. Next step, now that we've waited, is we're going to brush out the chain. I do this in sections. Okay, so we're going to find a chain link, or usually there's going to be a different color link. I just like to do this as a reference point so I know how much of the chain I've cleaned and when I'm pretty much done. So I don't know if you can see this. This one's a little bit of a different color. I'm going to start from here, put my brush in. Like I said before, a toothbrush will work, and just do it in sections. Now that the chain cleaner is penetrated and sat for a while, all the stuff that's been sitting on that chain should be fairly easy to remove. And then repeat the process on the top. That's why I took off the chain guard. It's much easier to get to the top. Okay, so once that's done, what I like to do is just quickly go over that chain again, because all the stuff you've dislodged is still going to be sitting there. Alright, so after the second quick cleaning, I waited a couple minutes just to let everything seep in and penetrate better, loosen up anything. Grab your rag and wipe down the chain. This is what the chain's supposed to look like when it's clean. There's your link.
Link it up.
That's it. This is all the stuff that we took out. So what you're going to want to do now is grab your chain lube. Now what you're going to lube is inside here there is O-rings. And I'm going to show you right now. If you look closely, it's kind of hard to see with this camera, but where both the links on the outside and inside meet up, right in here, on both sides, is where you're going to lube. Now, depending on what kind of bike you have, you're going to want to watch the fairings, that you don't spray this stuff on the fairings or on the tires, because this stuff is really hard to get off. So we're just going to go apply it gently. Don't worry if you get it on the outside, because you can just wipe it off. But just spray it on the inside of your O-rings. Why I say to people not to get it on the outside or not to leave it on the outside is, like I said before, this stuff, once it kind of dries up, is hard to come off, and it will attract dirt and dust, anything on the road really. On the outside of the chain, take your time, wipe it down. And then once you've wiped everything down, that's pretty much it. Your chain's clean and you're ready to ride. Vic himself 69 again. Make sure you keep watching, because we're going to do a bunch of different DIY videos. Shaggy 2 Dope 666.
Woo woo. Peace.